What's going on, guys? PXCam20 here, back in with a brand new video, and we are back again at Polyphony giving us Nascar racing. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, we are racing around another oval, but this is a special oval. It's not really one of the most traditional ovals. It's just two very long straights with two ridiculously banked corners, and all that is going to do is lead to some crazy racing, a lot of pack racing, and I'm pretty sure a lot of epic wrecks, because a lot of these guys are going to get impatient and take each other out. So we're going to see what's going to happen here. We are racing for 272 points because this is a Nations Cup race, so we are actually fighting for something here. You could think to yourself that, you know, you're only going straight. How hard can it be to get a win here? And let me tell you guys, it is very challenging to get a win on this racetrack, because you have to be very unreliant on the way that you actually drive the car, but just mainly focus on the way that you're going to be positioning yourself for a move to get yourself the win. So you guys will actually see that in the video. But before we jump into it, if you guys really enjoy the content, please feel free to subscribe and leave a like on the video, as it really helps us out on the YouTube algorithm. And anyways, that is enough promoting myself. Let's jump straight into this wacky race. Jumping into qualifying, once again, it is going to be very important for us to qualify someone in the front pack, because the thing is that Polyphony gave us multiple of cars. So we have Ferraris here, we got Lamborghinis, we have Toyotas, we had Ford GTs, all types of different cars. And one thing that was shown throughout the race is that the Lamborghini that we have here is actually really quick when you get it up to top speed. But if you are running like the Ferrari, I believe even the Supra, they have really great acceleration, so they can start pulling away early in the race, but we can easily catch up with them with the Lamborghini. But it's going to be just up to us if we can keep up with them in the beginning, so that we don't get too far away as we finish our first qualifying here. So we finished our first qualifying. We're only good enough for an 8th, and you can see how bad of a lap time it actually was. We were about a second and 7/10 basically away from pole position. So it's going to be a very tough challenge for us, because we're going to be starting in the middle of the pack. And again, that's not where I wanted to start off. I wanted to start off somewhere in the front, so that we can maintain our position in case if those Ferraris start jumping us off the start. So let's see what we could do here. We're going to jump into the intro now and talk about the strategy. When coming to this race, there really was no strategy. Again, just stay behind the leader, try to keep up with the front lead pack. No tire wear, no fuel consumption, just all out balls to the walls, just keeping your foot planted down on the throttle and making sure that you don't accidentally wreck yourself or lose the draft. So we're going to jump into it right now. 2 laps around Route X. What's going to happen? Let's find out. As we jump into the race now, we get our 3, 2, 1. Once again, we are starting in the middle of the pack, right behind the Canadian. And crossing the start-finish line, the Lamborghini once again just not going to get the best of starts, but luckily we do get into the slipstream of the Supra right ahead of us. You can see the Ferrari, just how much of a freaking power boost it's got on the start, and he's able to easily get around the Lamborghini and the Supra, and now he's getting around us here as we're going to slip up right behind him. And this is where we're going to shine here. Once we reach our optimal top end speed, that's where the Lamborghini is really going to start spreading its legs and showing what it's actually got, as we're trying to catch up to the pack up ahead and not let them get too far away. Because what ends up happening is that you start getting like 2 or 3, maybe even 4 packs going along here, and if you're not in that front lead pack, they can easily just start pulling away. And the fact that the Ferrari right ahead of us really doesn't have the best top end speed, it's going to be very challenging for us to try to catch up to them up ahead if this guy keeps leading us. But I don't want to break the toe. There's only 3 of us really in this pack, so we still got to get a couple more cars in here. And the more cars that there is in a pack, the faster you're going to go. And just right now, unfortunately, we just found ourselves going into turn number 1 with only 3 cars. So we're just going to work with the Ferrari here, wait until some people catch up to us, and then we're going to see if we can try to get ourselves into maybe you know, an 8-9 car pack and try to run down these guys up ahead and chase down the leaders. Hopefully they start fighting with each other. If they do start fighting with each other, then all that's going to do is slow them down, and that should allow us to catch up now as we are heading into turn number 1. So into turn number 1, We're staying right behind the Ferrari. Once again, just keeping it as smooth as possible. You think it would be easy to just, you know, hold the steering wheel straight and go into this corner without any issues, but the fact that the banking is just so weird, it kind of is like progressive banking. If you're all the way on the inside, it's got maybe 10 degrees of banking, but once you start going up higher into the track, and it's just start progressively getting more and more banking. So it's actually pretty difficult to go into that corner and keep the wheel straight. So luckily we were able to kind of keep it straight, but the people behind us were kind of struggling, and they weren't really able to hold a straight line, which cost us a lot of time. As you can see now, the front pack is starting to run away with us, as unfortunately the Lamborghini right behind us of CRG actually has a 1.5 second penalty. So that's another thing you definitely don't want to get here, is a penalty. I honestly don't know exactly how he got that penalty. I didn't see him do anything malicious, and bump drafting on this track is basically welcomed. As you can see, I'm bump drafting the Ferrari right ahead of us, and nothing is happening to us. So the penalty system, I think, was knocked down just a tad bit so that you can, you know, promote some bump drafting and kind of do like a Talladega Daytona type deal. But you can see that it's not really being effective here, because a couple of cars are starting to get a little bit impatient, a little bit antsy. Although we are in the first lap, they're trying to do some racing here, and all that's doing is just slowing us down. As you can see, I am going into the third person view just to see where everybody's at. But looking into the radar here, this is not what we want to see. We don't want to see 3-4 wide, and unfortunately that is the fast line that's going on the inside. So we just have to abandon our Ferrari friend and just go right behind the Ford GT and try to build a single file line so that we can try to run down the leaders up ahead, as we do have enough cars now to get ourselves into a little train and hopefully run down that leader, as he's only about 3 seconds away. But going into turn number 3, again, we're gonna see if everyone can hold it together, as it's kind of the same deal as turn number 1 and 2, just has that progressive banking, and it's just very difficult to keep it straight. As you can see, the Ford GT is going onto the inside and he's trying to make an overtake on the Supra, and I'm trying to let him into the spot right there, and luckily he does get it. But right behind us there's a Supra that gets a little impatient of the Canadian Accords, and he's actually forcing us up a little bit, as we're kind of pinched in between him and the wall. We see yellow flags, but we get squeezed up into the wall, and he actually takes us out here as we go onto the inside, try to get control of the cars. There's a Ferrari right ahead of us spinning out, and just to add salt to the injury, we get a 3-second penalty after losing the pack, and we get it overtaken by 18th place, and that is basically race over for us here, boys. So first race not going according to plan, and you can see coming down the straight for the final time, we cross the start finish line and we only get a 19th position here. So all that being patient, everything that we were trying to kind of force together, all just went out the window. And now we just have to go in for a second attempt, and let's see that we can take all of the lessons that we learned from the first race and try to implement that into that second race right now. So as we jump into our second race, I felt like I was confident enough that I learned enough to do better on this race, but we're gonna see if my big brain is gonna be able to be smart enough and handle all this you know, calculation and stuff to get us into a good spot. But we're already off to a great start. Qualifying just finished, and we were able to get a first, as Kyle was just sticking to our rear like glue, and he was helping us out a lot. But unfortunately, there was a group right behind us that was a little bit faster, and we were only able to qualify in 5th place. So we get into our second race here. We get our 3-2-1, cross the start finish line. But like I said, we are starting in 5th, so it's a little bit more easier than the race previous, because the race previous we were starting in the middle of the pack. And the fact that we were able to start off a little bit more further up ahead on this race, we could easily just control our pace, try to keep up with these top 3 guys, stay in single file line, break away from everybody else, and maybe turn this into like maybe a 5-6 car race instead of like a 10-15 car race, and just avoid all the issues that can come with that, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to get very antsy, make some very, very optimistic overtakes that can easily take someone out. So like I said, if we can get this into a 5-6 car battle only, I'm 100% on board with that. But as we go down the straight for the first time here, heading into turn number 1, we're staying right behind the Supra, and I'm liking this right here. Everybody up ahead is just staying on the game. We're just following this choo-choo train at 260 miles per hour. The Lamborghini right behind us, so Kyle, our best friend, our buddy, our boy here, is helping us out here. and he's going to be our #1 official teammate for this race, as he was helping us out throughout the entirety of the qualifying. So I'm hoping that he can help us out here, and maybe if we can stay with these guys up ahead throughout the entirety of the race, try to make an overtake on the second lap, as that's going to probably be the best time to attempt the overtake for the win, as it's going to get a little bit crazy on the second lap, but we're going to follow along right here and just stay in this train right behind the Supras. And I'm not sure if I think there's another Lamborghini up ahead in second and in first, but heading into turn number 1 and 2, we're going to see if we can have the issue of the race prior, where people were just unable to keep it straight, and everything's looking pretty good so far, but you can see that these guys are just dancing around here, as it's just very difficult to keep it in a single file line on these corners. And we have to let go of the throttle a little bit, because I don't want to accidentally make contact with the Supra and get him out of shape, because I've seen that happen before, where you just make a little too hard of contact into the corners, and it just gets the car in front out of shape. He hits the wall, and then he can easily take you out, and that's not what we want happening to us, because you know, it's still the first lap. I don't want to push anything here, as they just get a little bit bottled up right there. Not sure what happened. I don't know if it was just lag, but we get a little bit bottled up, make very hard contact with the Supra. I was a little bit worried about if that was going to give me a penalty, because I still don't know where the limit is at. Although Polyphony, I felt like lowered down the penalty system with bump drafting. You saw last race, someone got a penalty. I don't know how he got that penalty, and I don't want to be the test subject to find out how the hell he got that penalty. But heading down the straight on the, I guess you would call it the backstretch of this very, very long, what is this, like a 5-minute, 6-minute lap here around Route X. We're still keeping it single file, and you can see on the mini-map on the top right that some cars are starting to really get far away from us. So we're starting to build our little pack here. This is exactly what we wanted. We didn't want to have too many cars in this pack, because once things start getting a little bit crazy on the second lap and people start fanning out trying to make the overtake for the win, it's not going to be against, you know, 15 other drivers. It's going to probably be against maybe 6 or 7 other drivers now, as we head into the middle part of turn number 3 and 4. So off of turn number 4, we're staying right behind here as the Supra makes a little bit of contact with the wall, and that just scares everybody right up behind, as everyone takes evasive action. But luckily we just get back in line, and Kyle has to squeeze his way back in between us and 7th of Greasy. And luckily Kyle did that textbookly, and was able to get right behind us once again. And we're just going to stay single file down the straight, as we only have 1 lap left. So everything's going according to plan. I'm actually getting a little bit antsy here and getting very jittery, because we are in a great position now to actually get a win here. So although we are in 5th place on majority of the tracks, you would think 5th place on the final lap, really difficult to make, you know, a move for the win. But the nature of this racetrack and how long it is, and the fact that we only have 2 laps, it's going to be actually quite possible to try to get into a position to get us into a win here. But we just got to time everything correctly. So at this point, I'm just kind of just testing some things out here, trying to see how much of a suck up I can get. Not in a dirty way, I didn't mean to say it like that, but I hope you guys know what I mean. But you can see that we're starting to build a little gap from the Supra, and I'm just testing things out right here. I'm just seeing if that, you know, slipstream is going to pull us up, and if it does pull us up, how much is it actually pulling us up? And you can see right here that we actually get a really good suction. I don't know how to say this without making it dirty, but we just get pulled up to him really, really quickly. And that's one thing that I'm just testing out right here on the corners, because that's where we're going to make our overtake. We're going to try to do it on the corner, and just the best place to, you know, test stuff out like this was going to be on turn 1 and 2. So we know that it's got a good suction, so we know that we can easily make up some time. But again, we just have to make sure that we time this correctly. And not only that, I have to make sure that someone is going to come right behind me. And you know, Kyle has been with us throughout the entirety of qualifying and the entirety of the race, but when it comes down to the wire and it comes down to it's either going to be a win or 2nd place, is he going to come with us? I don't know yet. So I got to figure out a way to signal to Kyle to, hey, come follow me. We're going to try to go for a win, and then he can try to, you know, try to pull out and attempt a win on me if we're up ahead against all these other guys. But I'm just kind of planning my way here now as we're heading down past the tunnel section. So we're getting closer and closer into turn number 3 and turn number 4, so it's gonna get very antsy here. And you can see I'm starting to build up that gap now, and it's gonna be go time here soon. So we get a really great run on the Supra, and I flashed the indicator to Kyle for us to go right, and I think he's coming with us as we get a really great run going into turn number 3. Not sure yet if I timed the move a little too early, but we're just gonna have to continue going on forward. There's no second chances here, no looking back. We just got to continue going forward as we are now into turn number 3 and turn number 4. The Supra right ahead of us goes into the inside, and that's going to be great for us because we're going to be able to stay in the slipstream of him, and maybe we could get a good enough run here as we're heading into the inside. Going very, very quick here as we're catching up to the Supra. He tries to defend onto the inside. We got to go all the way to the right hand side, and it's now a 4-wide situation going down the straight to the line. You see things are starting to get really crazy in the mini map as we go down to the line. What are we gonna get here? So far we're in 3rd, 4th, and it looks like it's a 4th place position for us after almost misjudging the time and almost unable to get that move right there. Luckily Kyle came with us, and we got that section from the gray Supra because he went onto the inside. Just unfortunate that the gray Supra right at the end decided to defend the inside line, and we just had to go all the way to the flat part of the racetrack, which just killed our momentum. And you can see Kyle, our boy, was able to actually finish on the podium. So he did leave us. He was trying to stay with us as long as he can. He told me after the race, but it's just unfortunate that, you know, he had to think for himself and try to get a better position than where he would have finished at if he would have followed me onto that inside flat part. But he had to do his thing. He got podium, and we were able to luckily get a 4th place position. I'll take that, especially after the first race, getting a 19th position and getting wrecked out right on the first lap. So, like I said, this is going to be the money race that we were just going to take the points and just run, because I did not want to try doing this again. It's just too much of a gamble to try to get a great finish here on this race. Even if you try doing everything perfectly and execute it perfectly, it just easily can be something that just throws a wrench into all your plans, and things can go south very, very quickly. So let me know how you guys did on this race. Comment that down in the comments down below, and if you guys really enjoy the content in the video, which I'm guessing you guys did since you made it all the way to the end here, please feel free to leave a like, as it helps us out on the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe down below. And if you guys want to follow me on the Twitters or on Instagram, or even follow us on Discord, all of those links are in the description down below as well. And again, if you guys found this video very entertaining, which I hope you guys did, I hope to see you guys on the next one. Peace out.